road tripping with Cori. I gotta say, I'm super excited. This is like the 4th video I think that I've done now while I'm driving. This type of content creation might work. Yes, it's rambling. Yes, it's kind of all over the map, but it helps people get to know me, right? The more that I talk, the more that I speak, the more that you hear the different things from me, the more you might start to understand of how I can help you, and that I know a lot of different things about a lot of different things. And well, 2026 is the year of building my Arbonne business out, is really building the vehicle, building the mountain, building the pyramid, whatever you want, which is not a pyramid scheme, it's an ecosystem is more so what it is. And where was I going with that? I don't know. But at any rate, doing these road tripping series where I'm in the car and I've got, can't be anywhere but here. I might as well put a camera on, hit record, start recording, make videos, teach you, get to know you, all of those sorts of things. I actually prefer doing this back and forth with other people. But it's just me talking to you and helping you see that you want to be a part of my team, actually, because, well, let's talk Gen X, shall we? I think this video is going to be directed to Gen X because in Arbonne, if you were to go follow, Arbonne's huge, right? Like, so it's a health and wellness company, right? And so you partner with it. And I'm connected to a success line full of women who are mothers of young children. And they are aesthetically pleasing, all of their feeds are that. And they're all in these health journeys. And I'm like, yeah, I was in the exact same place when my kids were that age. And so all of it's kind of fun to watch to see how like, oh, if my kids were young again, for sure we'd be friends because we'd be in the life stage and I would sign up and probably want to be with you guys and like get to know you, and our kids would be at the same activities or the same thing, or if they're super young, you just bring them on play dates and suddenly here's your new friends because their moms do business together and they build a business together. It's wonderful to watch. But what I noticed about me at 50 years old and being a Gen Xer, I'm like, where are the Gen X Arbonne lines? Like, where are they? And I keep going to look for them online. I know one person, she's out east, who's part of our success line. And I've asked Aslan, you got anybody that's like born before 1980 that's in the success line? Like, are there other people, not people that are at the top? Because if you're Gen X and they're at the top 1 or 2% of the company, they've probably been building for years. And when you hear their stories, they started 10, 15 years ago. So they're not in the same boat of like where I'm at the beginner stage of starting network marketing. But what I know about Gen X is this isn't my first rodeo with network marketing. I've known about network marketing companies since my early 20s. I knew what they were. And fun fact, I almost was in a pyramid scheme with actual money, and those are illegal, right? And money and gifts, and I had to have been like 21, 22. I was almost in one, and then the last minute I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. So I found network marketing after that. Network marketing, you sell products, like it's basically direct sales. There's products, there's tangibles, there's something at the end. That's what you're building. There's no scam about it. It's bad marketing for sure, but how to do it. But bringing this back to me and the generations, and when was the first time? My sister's best friend sold Epicure, and I believe she actually made it probably to the top, super high in the company. And so when she came out west to visit my sister or whatever, they hosted a party. My sister signed up under her, had a party, and they did it. And I was so curious about the way that Carmen was doing this business, and I was asking all kinds of different questions, like how does this work, and how's the business work, and wow, what an interesting business model. At the time, I had a Domino's Pizza, and so I was doing that. But I mean, I had young kids, and she was like, she's telling me all about it, and I thought it was awesome. I said, there's just one problem. I hate to cook. And these were Epicures all spices, which meant I would have to cook. And then I'd have to use the product. And then in order to use the product, that would, again, be doing the thing that I hate the most, which is cooking. Oh, but then you'd have to like ask people to host parties because, well, the internet, we were still on dial-up. There wasn't even cable internet. There was no cell phones. There was no internet. There was no social media. And if it was, I wasn't going on to Facebook because everything I saw with Facebook was people playing these farm games. And I'm like, what the fuck are these? I don't want to go on a social platform and watch other people play these games that they're sharing. No thanks. I didn't understand it. I thought it was stupid and I didn't want to do it. And so I looked at her business model. I'm like, yeah, but then you got to get on the phone with people and you got to call them and you got to do all these things. I also don't like to talk on the phone. I never have. Also, texting wasn't a thing, and at the time, to text back in 2007 or 8, I think you're still doing like, I don't even know what it's called, but it took a long time to get one sentence out, and clearly, I don't do one sentence well. So you can imagine the first time I tried to text out a whole sentence, it took me 2 hours, I think, to get 3 sentences out. That's how far we go. So people my age, we didn't grow up with this, but we tried network marketing. You know who made money? The first person in the small town that found the thing, because then they got all their friends to try the products, which were awesome, and then they wanted to sell, but you didn't. If you couldn't break outside of your own small town, you were stuck to that. So if you didn't know anybody out there, or you have to do markets, you have to go physically be at a market, which again didn't work for me because number one, I already had a business that if I'm going to be at, I should be at those physical businesses working. But then I also had to find childcare so I could go be at a market to sell. And so if at the time, my ex-husband was also part of our family businesses, he was working at the businesses. And then my sister was working at the businesses, and my brother-in-law was working at the business, and my mother was working at the business. So who was going to watch the kids? Because I was the kid watcher. So I couldn't go out to all these different markets in neighboring towns to get my name out, my product out, and to showcase. So the business model didn't make sense, but I loved how you could build a team of people. Now, when social media came, and I think I joined Facebook in 2007, and again, I was just kind of like, here's a picture of my kids, you know, here's the first day of school, and then I don't post again for another year. How are all these people, this network marketing moved a little bit onto that once you realized it's only a matter of time before every social platform is taken over by the business side of things, before people think, how can I make money on here? But that's where the sleazy slide into your DM and like you're getting messages you think are from people from high school and they start a small conversation and you're like, we've been out of high school for 20 years. Why are you talking to me? Oh, well, I just recently started this business, and that's how those things started. Because that's where the 100-person list really became a whole lot easier. You have access to a whole lot more people. You don't have to call them up on the phone and like feel their annoyance on the phone, and try to work your way through that. No, you can just slide into their DMs. That's where the ugly part started. So yeah, Gen X, yeah, those people would have already tried it and probably been burnt out. They might have had success for a little while, and there's so many network marketing companies popping up. And fun fact here, if you look up network marketing companies, look it up on the internet. You're going to see like at least 200, like in North America, pop up that are actual network marketing companies where you can build a team underneath. And they range from like health and wellness, there was candles, there was party supplies, financial stuff. There's a lot of network marketing companies that are actually financial brokers and stuff. You build a team of people. So the business model, when done right, is brilliant. When done horribly, it goes sideways. And Gen X have been burned. We have probably tried all those things throughout our 20s and our 30s and kind of either failed at it and said never again. Maybe you tried some products your friends were having. Maybe it ruined some friendships and you're like, I'm never going to fucking do this again. And you ruled it out. And then you land where I'm at 50 and you just take an ass raping in the interest rate charges of 2022 rising. If you're in Canada, I don't know how bad it was in the States. I'm assuming it's just as bad. You're like, I got to do something. So you get a 9 to 5, but you only have so many physical hours. What are you going to do to get another job? Right? And it seems I'm at my destination now, so I'm going to have to pause the video. But, yeah, what are you going to do? There's only so much. You know what? Scrap this. I'm actually going to start this whole video over again. And then I'm going to do a part 2. Why am I telling you that if I'm just going to delete the video? You know what? I'm actually going to leave this video up. I'm going to get to my destination. I'm going to wrap this up, but I'm going to start the whole video over again. You know why? Because I want to show you how it's okay to do a half-parter. So stay tuned for part 2 of this conversation. I won't start it all over again. Remind me when I get back in the car that we are going to start off with Gen X and being 50 and this part in life, and still either wanting more money to have more adventures, or you need to pay off debt before you can go to your next phase of adventures. You've raised your kids and they're still costing you money, and you need another income source, but you've run out of time. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video, and then obviously I'm going to link it in the comments, because by the time I load this up onto YouTube, I'll have made the part 2. So catch you there.